How does it feel to perform in front of 224,000 people? That's Jerez for you. And where do I even start? We got everything we expected, everything we feared, everything we prayed for. From crashes to saves, from wild battles to unthinkable moments, from dreams fulfilled to disasters realized. Man, we got everything. The blazing heat of Jerez. The sun blazed down mercilessly on the hallowed asphalt of Jerez. The Spanish Grand Prix, a battlefield soaked in history, was ready to ignite. The stands, painted in a sea of red, yellow, and wild passion, trembled under the roar of tens of thousands of fans. Flags whipped in the air. Drums thundered. Every heartbeat in Jerez synchronized with the rumble of the MotoGP machines lining up on the grid. The lights blinked off, and chaos exploded. Fabio Quartararo launched like a missile off the line, taking the whole shot into turn 1. A perfect start for the Frenchman, eager to erase the bitter taste of Saturday's sprint disaster. Behind him, carnage was brewing. Pecco Bagnaia? Brilliant in the early stages. For a while, it looked like nobody could stop him. But then chaos erupted. Fabio Quartararo made a breakthrough. Marc versus Pecco exploded into madness, and through that chaos came a fireball named Alex Marquez. Marc Marquez bogged down off the line, a rare mistake from the 8-time world champion, and Pecco Bagnaia didn't hesitate, slicing up the inside to snatch second place. And then came the moment of madness. Alex Marquez, desperate to make up ground, threw a Hail Mary into turn 6, a dive bomb that nearly wiped out his brother and Bagnaia in one shot. Metal clashed, rubber screamed, and for a moment the crowd held their breath. Somehow, some way, they all survived. But it was clear. This race was going to be war. Marc Marquez's nightmare, disaster at turn 8. While Fabio Quartararo sailed away at the front, behind him the brothers Marquez were playing a dangerous game, swapping paint, trading inches, testing nerves. But the fine line between genius and catastrophe finally snapped. Marc Marquez, the king of Jerez, the man many had bet their houses on today, carried a fraction too much speed into turn 8, Aspar corner, the front end tucked. Gravity grabbed the 93, and in a heartbeat, Marc Marquez was down. The grandstands gasped in shock as the champion who had owned this track for years picked himself up from the gravel, his Ducati battered and dreams of victory scattered like dust. He remounted, but the magic was gone. Marc Marquez's day was dead. Alex Marquez, the chase begins. One Marquez down, one Marquez rising. With his brother's fall still echoing in the air, Alex Marquez regrouped. First, he hunted Bagnaia, the 2-time world champion who had owned Jerez for 3 straight years. And like a man possessed, Alex struck, diving past Pecco with surgical precision to seize second place. Next, he set his sights on Quartararo. The Frenchman, brilliant early on, now looked nervy. The gap was shrinking with every sector, from half a second to 0.3 to 0. Alex Marquez was coming, and nothing was going to stop him. On lap 12, the inevitable happened. The very place he almost crashed at the start, Alex Marquez launched a perfectly timed move on Quartararo, taking the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. The grandstands erupted. The home fans sensed it. This was a coronation happening in real time. Now leading, Alex tapped into a new level of focus. Clean air ahead, no distractions, only destiny. He began pulling away, 10th by 10th, until the gap ballooned over 2 seconds. Behind him, Quartararo was locked in a dogfight with Bagnaia, and Alex Marquez? He was flying. Today, Alex Marquez replaced Pecco Bagnaia at the top, and that's not because of the bike. The Ducati GP24 and GP25 are not that different. No excuses. Leave Marc's crash aside. Pecco couldn't even get near Alex Marquez today. The gap between Alex and Fabio was almost 3 seconds. And Pecco? He was stuck behind Fabio Quartararo, unable to launch an attack. At one point, even Maverick Vinales on the KTM was catching both of them. If the race had lasted a few more laps, Pecco might have even lost the podium. Marc crashed out on lap 4. Pushing too hard? Maybe. Tire pressure? Possibly too high for leading clean air? Either way, he lost the front at turn 8, 22 seconds down, 22nd place. And then, he became the fastest man on track. Lap after lap, Marc Marquez put on a show that only he can deliver, carving through the field like it was 2019 again, finishing 12th from 22nd on a damaged bike. You can't forget Fabio Quartararo, not today. Yesterday, he crashed hard, fighting side by side into a brutal braking zone. Today, he took off like a missile on lap 1. The factory Ducatis struggled to catch him at first. Only Alex Marquez could eventually overtake him. After losing the lead, Fabio stayed strong. He fought Pecco Bagnaia off for most of the race, maintained a half-second gap, and brought Yamaha their first MotoGP podium since 2023. Fabio is back. When he said, "Put me up front and I'll deliver," he meant it. Pecco Bagnaia searching for answers. But Jerez had more blood to spill. Fermin Aldeguer, the rookie sensation, lost the front and crashed out from 5th, a cruel end to what had been a stunning early charge. Then came John Mir, the 2020 world champion. A nasty crash sent Mir sprawling, his Honda sliding violently across the track. As he tumbled, his own bike struck him brutally, a terrifying reminder of the thin margins riders danced with at 300 kilometers per hour. The circuit had become a graveyard for dreams. The final 10 laps, the chase for second. While Alex Marquez disappeared into the Spanish horizon, the battle for second ignited. Bagnaia sensed opportunity. Stuck behind Quartararo, Pecco grew more desperate. He slashed at the gap, lap after lap, willing himself forward. The Ducati growled in frustration as Fabio resisted with everything he had. Behind them, Maverick Vinales, the home hero for KTM, was closing, dreaming of stealing a podium for himself. The final 5 laps were a cauldron of tension. 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths. Would Bagnaia dive? Would Quartararo crumble? Would Vinales ambush them both? The clock ticked down. The final showdown was near. 1 lap to go. Bagnaia went all in. Throwing caution to the wind, he threw his Ducati at every corner, every apex, searching for that tiny gap, that single mistake from Quartararo. The crowd was on its feet, every camera lens fixed on the duel for second. Into turn 6, no room. Into turn 9, Quartararo shut the door. Turn 13, the famous final corner, Bagnaia lunged but Fabio braced himself. Not today. Fabio Quartararo crossed the line in second. Pecco Bagnaia, third. It was a heroic defense from Quartararo, but the day belonged to another man. Across the line, arms aloft, tears streaming down his face, Alex Marquez screamed his victory to the heavens. Alex Marquez wins the Spanish MotoGP. The younger Marquez, so often living in the shadow of his legendary brother, had stepped out into the sunlight. He had conquered Jerez. He had conquered his doubts. He had conquered the world. Rolling to a stop on the cool-down lap, Alex grabbed the Spanish flag, draping it over his bike as he saluted the fans who had roared him to greatness. There were no dry eyes in the Gresini garage. Mechanics wept openly, his family embraced in the pit lane. It wasn't just a win. It was a moment, the beginning of a new chapter. Climbing off his bike, Alex was greeted like a returning king. In Parc Fermé, still breathless, he grinned from ear to ear. "The best birthday present, amazing," he exclaimed. At 29 years old, Alex Marquez had finally claimed his rightful place. The legacy, a new star rises. The MotoGP paddock buzzed with the realization. Alex Marquez, once the little brother, once the afterthought, now led the 2025 World Championship, 1 point clear of Marc Marquez himself. He's stepped out of Marc's shadow this year. He's a demon on the brakes. He's doing everything right. Today wasn't just a fluke. It was the culmination of years of grit, grind, and belief. It was the moment Alex Marquez became a MotoGP giant. The brothers are here. 2025 was supposed to be the year of Marc Marquez's redemption. It might just become the year of the Marquez brothers. Marc is still the favorite. Nobody doubts that. But Alex Marquez? He just made it clear. He's not here to be Marc's shadow anymore. He's here to win. Pecco Bagnaia needs to respond, and fast. The 2025 MotoGP World Championship is alive, wild, and unpredictable. And after Jerez, everything has changed. The war continues, 15 races to go, a title fight tighter than ever, brothers battling for glory, champions under pressure, and we're just getting to the good part.